Why? Why were those children killed? Why were those babies smashed violently on the walls? Why was their heads chopped off with machetes? Why did they die so violently? Where was the world? Where was the UN when those children cried for help? Where was the international community when they cried their cries of agony? Where was the world? Where was God? Where was Africa? Where was humanity? Where?
Why did I have a chance to grow up with my father?
As the post-genocide generation, at the end of the day, we are all victims, no survivor, no perpetrator. But how can we use our difference and make sure that nothing happens again?
The first time genocide made sense to me, it's where I learned my father was killed during the genocide. As my generation, to be an orphan or to grow up with one parent, it was like a normal. So I was grew up with my mother and my siblings and my lovely uncle. But when I asked my mother what happened to my father, she wasn't ready to tell me what happened to him. Recently, I talked to my sister. We had like long talk about our family, like especially on my father's thing. She told me that my father and my mother had two different group ethnic. My mother was a Hutu, my father was a Tutsi. I found out the man who I used to call my uncle, the man who used to take care of me when I was in school, the young brother of my mother, my uncle, murdered my father.
I grew up in a family of two, with a mother and a brother. Every time I used to ask, why don't I have a father, as any other kid in my generation? I thought it was a normal thing, until I learned that my father is scared to come back in my country because he might go to jail. But as a kid, I can't react the same. The thing that comes to my mind is guilty, shame, just because I feel every kid who cries around my neighborhood in April when we remember the victims of the 1994 genocide.
When I think about the genocide, I wonder why I suffer from its consequences, yet I was born 7 years after it. I wonder why I feel the burden of something I did not take part in. I wonder why I feel ashamed, yet proud of being in a country like this. I wonder why I feel the weight of all the deaths on my shoulder. I wonder why I have to cry every night when I remember people who died. I wonder why I have to carry this burden that I did not choose to carry. I wonder why I have to live like this. I wonder why something that happened before I was born affects me this much.
When you study the history of genocide in Rwanda, the history of Holocaust all over the world, you find that there's a lot of similar patterns. There's a lot of things that we never truly learn from history. Though there are many causes and many things that could lead to genocide, I'd like to outline 3 of them. According to the researcher Erwin Staub, that there's 3 ways in which a society is vulnerable to a genocide. One of them is a history of past victimization. Another one is a lack of critical analysis in a society. And also another one is blind obedience to authority. When you study the history of Rwanda, you'll find that we have all these 3 patterns have been happening in Rwanda. For many generations, there was many different instances of violence in the 1950s and then in the 1970s and 60s.
I think the contribution that I can have to a story that I never contributed to is not to feel guilty anymore, is not to feel ashamed anymore, is to speak out, tell people what I go through, but not to stop there, but tell people that whatever that I go through, there is a solution. There is that heart behind my pain. There is that heart behind my sorrow.
I believe that in order for us to build a culture of peace, we have to create a society and we have to create a generation of not only critical thinkers, which is really important, but a generation where students and people learn that a way to deal with conflict is not through violence, but rather through words. I believe that conflict is inherent to human beings, but that violence is a choice. And that is where iDebate works. iDebate is a debate program where we teach secondary students the art of public discourse. We believe that the only way that we can solve a lot of the issues that we have is to dig deep and actually argue back and forth, find solutions to those problems.
Through debate, I was able to unlock my speaking skills so that I can share my story and healing myself.
As a post-genocide generation, I carry a burden that I did not choose to carry. But with debate, I have a platform to discuss my worries and burdens. I have a platform to talk about what I feel and what I think. I have a platform to become a better critical thinker and to find solutions for the problems that I have.
The debate program has helped me to welcome other people's ideas, has helped me to understand that the world does not revolve around myself. It has opened up my mind in a way that I can understand that the other person can oppose me and I still feel fine about it, and find a way to explain to them why I believe in what I believe in.
In 2014, at the occasion of the 20th commemoration of the genocide against the Tutsi, iDebate Rwanda started a project called Voices for a Post-Genocide Generation.
This year, I've been privileged to be among the people who were selected for the US Tour 2018. I'm excited and all happy to go to display to the world how Rwanda, 25 years after the genocide, is building itself. I'm happy to show that now we have one common identity, which is Rwandan. I'm happy to display to not only Americans, but also to the world how we can learn from the history of Rwanda to make sure genocide does not happen again.
If Rwandans are able to live together after such a horrific and tragic event such as the genocide against the Tutsi, then what about anyone else? We always say that if Rwandans can live together, nobody else has any excuse.
When I was told that I was selected to be part of the US Tour team, I was happy that I'm going to enjoy to be on the team and to visit America. But I also feel challenged because I have to make sure that I share the stories from my country. Not because they are sad, no, because there are other people in America who might feel in the way we feel, or who might be going through what we go through, just in a different context. But also to make sure that my story can change someone's heart and someone's view.
iDebate is at a very exciting stage. For the past 6 years, to be honest, has been years of struggle and years of just learning whatever we could on how to run a debate program. We want you to partner with us. We want you to join us in this movement. We want you to be a partner in making sure that we create a better world, a world where conflict is solved using words, and a world where every kid feels that their voice can be heard.